Alrighty, not gonna lie. Friday, June 5th, was not a fun day in the market. We lost $11,000 on paper, approximately 5%. Um, Normally, I do these recaps with a PowerPoint, but honestly, I looked at this screen, saw that I was down $11,000 in the day, and I was like, those PowerPoints, we are just gonna go live. We did have a position, I want to say one, maybe two, that was in the green. We'll go through the whole thing, but to look at this day change here, we did see Abbott Laboratories was up 0.32%, and then SGov, but that doesn't really count. It's not an equity. It's more of a holding tank. So we'll just jump into the portfolio and get into this red. So first is the Hindsight 50/50 portfolio. This is one that we do expect to be a little red, just generally speaking. On a bad day, it's gonna obviously be a little bit more volatile just based on the nature of the holdings. It was down $506 or 6.47%. So to start off, we have Archer, 50 shares, approximately 3.8% of the portfolio. It was down 13.17%. Next, BM&R, approximately a fifth of the portfolio. It was down 11.12%. Following is Grab Holdings, 100 shares, 4.5% of the portfolio. It was down 3.47%. Our 50 shares of Kodiak at 4.44% of the portfolio was down 7.27%. Lucid Group, 15 shares, only 1% of the portfolio, but down 9.95%. Ondas had a decent week overall. No one had a really good Friday. 20 shares, 2.79% of the portfolio, and we were down approximately 13%. Orbs, 100 shares, 1.22% of the portfolio, down 10.46%. QXO, we actually did have a purchase in QXO this week. This is one of the ones that we have some conviction in, so we picked up 12 shares. And those shares we're currently down 5.93% on those shares, but overall, we're down 2.9% on yesterday. Serve Robotics, 50 shares, 5.32% of the portfolio, down 7.9%. Uranium Energy Corp, 30 shares, 5.2% of the portfolio, down 10.54%. Venture Global, 130 shares, 6.67% of the portfolio, down 2.74%, and Zeta Global, 40 shares, 11.83% of the portfolio, down 4.88%. So moving on to Vinny Smoking in the Big Room. It was down 5.84%, a little under $6,000. This one is a primary VGT and NVIDIA are the two main holdings, and we'll take a look. We have a few shares of DRAM, 5 shares, just 0.3. This is just to track the position. It was down 15% on the day. Energy Transfer, 200 shares, 4% of the portfolio, down 1.17% on the day. Meta Platforms, I think we did make a small purchase here on the day, or on the week rather. We picked up about a half share over the week. We have 4 total shares, 2.53% of the portfolio was down 5.51%. NVIDIA, we picked up a share or so here during the week. Yes, we picked up a share to bring it up to 53, 11% of the portfolio was down 6% on the day. Now we'll skip over SGov and move on to SoFi. 25 shares, about 4% of 0.4% of the portfolio was down 6.53%. SPMO, just a shade under 12 shares, or just a shade under 2% of the portfolio, down 5.59%. Interglobal, 175 shares, 2.41% of the portfolio, down 2.74%. And VGT, the primary holding, 580 shares, 71% of the portfolio, was down 6.14% on the day. Move on to Getty's Ghost. Was down 6% on the day. This one is primarily SPMO and Amazon. So we'll see Abbott Laboratories. This one was up 0.32% on the day. This is a very new position. We picked up 10 shares on last week, or well, within the last week or so. It's 2.31% of the portfolio. It's currently up 6.41%, and it was about our only position that was up on Friday, 0.32% as mentioned. After that, we have Amazon, 20 shares, 12.5% of the portfolio, was down 3% on the day. IBM, a newer position, 5 shares, 3.56% of the portfolio. While it is up 7.31% in the very short time that we've owned it, going back to 528, it was down on the day, 5.61%. IREN had a bit of a run, but gave all of it back and then some over the past week. We have 20 shares, or 2.71% of the portfolio, and it was down 12.14%. And then the primary holding in this portfolio is SPMO, the S&P Momentum Fund by Invesco. 215 shares, 78% of the portfolio, and it was down 5.59% on the day. Next, we'll take a look at Tree-Fitty. This is our newest portfolio overall. Was down 5.88% on the day. And the holdings are 3. There's Google, 10 shares, 25% of the portfolio, was only down 0.95% on the day. Meta Platforms, 13 shares in this portfolio. It's 54.9% of this portfolio, and it was down 5.51%. And then finally, SMH, the VanEck Semiconductor ETF, 5 shares, approximately 20% of the portfolio, down 9.22% on the day. Normally, I'm going to pull up her suite off before we look at Vera, just because normally on these days when, tech kind of turns down, SCHD performs a little bit better. Sometimes it's even green. This was a wider ranging downturn, kind of struck everyone a little bit, but at the same time we see that the portfolio that holds only SCHD was only down 0.86%. So yeah, this is not 84 shares. SCHD, the primary holding of, her suite off, but it's actually the primary holding of this portfolio at about 740 shares. It's 42% of it, and it was down, as we mentioned, 0.89% on the day. also another holding of SMH, the Vanex Semiconductor stock. It's 9.98% of this portfolio. 10 shares, down approximately 9.22% on the day. And we also have a little bit more SPMO here, 3.54% of the portfolio, or 14 shares. It was down 5.59% on the day. Okay, everyone, get the hell out of here. Friday sucked. We'll catch them on Monday.